We all just agree that Milo is definitely like one of the coolest little kids ever. Can that just be a thing, please? Hello once again, watchers of Good TV. My name is Nick Pell, and this is once again coming from my college dorm room. Now today we are going to be talking about the Season 4/Book 4/Series finale season of The Legend of Korra. So, if you have not watched this season yet, probably don't watch this because you will have a lot of things spoiled for you, and I would not want that to happen. I will also be touching on the end of this season towards the end of the video, so stay tuned for that if you have watched through to the end and you want to hear my thoughts on it. So, Season 4 picks up about 3 years, I believe, after the events of Book 3. And the first episode doesn't even show Korra for the most part, it just shows what is happening to the remainder of Team Avatar. We see that there's a new leader of the Earth Nation, Prince Wu, who becomes a character who shows up in pretty much every episode. But we have Mako being his bodyguard, we have Bolin serving in the Earth Army, we have Asami still at the head of her company, and just a bunch of the central characters that we know and love are still doing things in the show. And it's really interesting to see where they have gotten to in the 3 years since the events of Book 3. Our main bad guy in Book 4 is a woman named Kuvira. This is someone who apparently we saw a glimpse of in Book 3, but I didn't realize that she was the main bad, so I didn't really pay attention. But Kuvira is the main bad guy. She's trying to take over the Earth Kingdom by means of force and protection. Basically, do what we say and you won't starve to death type of stuff. So she is the main threat, and once she gets her hands on the Earth Nation, she eventually wants to take down the whole world and rule it under her own self. Then Korra, having been poisoned at the end of Book 3, she is struggling very spiritually in terms of getting her avatar abilities back and getting full back to form. And she is encountering this evil spirit, which is consistently haunting her, and there's a bunch of stuff just going on with that. I'm not going to go into huge details on everything because I would make this a really long video. A lot of episodes do deal with Korra and trying to reclaim her avatar abilities. The second episode, Korra Alone, is probably the best that does this because it shows us what Korra has struggled with and gone through in the 3 years since the events of Book 3. Toph is back in this show for a couple episodes, not that many, but she does have something of a big role in getting Korra back up to form, and she's always kind of fun to see. She's still got her witty humor about her, and it's really cool to see these original members of Team Avatar coming back into the fray a little bit. The season is somewhat slow at times, that's kind of a given with any show, but this one in particular, because it's only 13 episodes, it's more noticeable than otherwise would be. The main one, which is slow because the people who make the show had to basically make this how it was. The episode Remembrances, which is basically just flashbacks and recurring material and just remembering everything that's happened, just due to production issues and a cut in budget and everything. It's excusable, but it still did kind of slow this season down, and then it just took off towards the finale at the end. So that was the only real part that bugged me, but it was something which was understandable. Jeremy Zuckerman again did the music for this season, and he is still doing phenomenally as a composer, and he's just really cool to listen to throughout the whole series, so he does a really good job. And one thing that Korra has always done, the show, not the character, is present us with villains whose intentions are justified, but they're just going about their goals in the wrong way. And this is something that Toph brings up to Korra in the second or third episode, I think, and points out that Amon, he wanted equality, he just went around about the wrong way. Unalaq wanted a unified physical and spiritual worlds, he went about it the wrong way. And the main bad from Book 3, he wanted a free world, and just by eliminating dictators, but he went about it the wrong way. So we have all these villains with really good intentions and really understandable motivations, but they're just going about their goals in a wrong fashion. And that's something which is really neat that Korra has done. It's not just a black and white scenario where Team Avatar is good and this villain is just absolutely bad. There's nothing redeemable about them. Their motivations are always on the side of good, but just the way that they go about them is really wrong. And Kuvira is much the same. We learn more about that in the finale. Again, she is someone who has good intentions in the uniting of the Earth Kingdom, but she just doesn't go about it in the best fashion. I also like that there weren't that many relationship things happening, and that's something which has kind of plagued a good chunk of the first 3 books of the series, in that it focuses so much on relationships that a lot of the main focus of the show, which is like the action taken of the villain, it's kind of left behind as a result of that sometimes. Before, I had a little bit of that, but it wasn't as huge as we've seen in the past, and so that was something which I also really enjoyed seeing. So yeah, I'm not going to go into, like I said, huge details on this, but as a whole I did really enjoy Legend of Korra Book 4. I thought it was really, really good. I'm going to talk about the finale now, so if you have not seen the finale or this show wrap up, probably stop watching now. If you do want to hear any more of my thoughts on specifics in Season 4, be sure to comment down below, and I'd love to touch base with you on those. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe once again. If you so choose, I'd appreciate it immensely. So now we have the finale. We have this 2-part finale, which takes place at the end of the season, and it's the series finale. And it's Kuvira in a huge robotic suit, and she's got basically a laser weapon which can destroy everything, and I like that we got to see that in use. It wasn't just like 1 or 2 big shots that she fired. She uses this thing very liberally and just like destroys Republic City pretty much, and that was something which I really liked seeing. This place basically became a war zone, and that is something which it should have become when you have a super weapon and a giant robot firing it. Again, I'm not going to go into too many specifics. The big battle scene in the penultimate episode, those were all really, really cool. They were really well choreographed. It was just neat to see the bendings animated as they were and used in those specific formats that they were. And it's just kind of neat to see all these players from the show come together to defeat Kuvira. So, jumping to the last episode, we have 3 major conflicts which occur in this episode. We have Korra versus Kuvira. That's the main one. That was really well done. It was really cool to see them go toe to toe. It's neat to see that Korra is actually an equal match, if not better, than Kuvira now than when she was earlier in the season when she just got her ass handed to her. Mako and Bolin taking down the machine from inside, taking down the power of Mako, almost sacrificing himself. That was something which I would have been upset about, but also really impressed that the show would have gone to that length. They didn't do it, but we saw him being really willing to put his life on the line and sacrifice himself for the greater good, and that was something which I really, really liked seeing, and really added a lot of suspense to the episode after the fact that nobody significant died in the last 2 episodes, so it kind of set that up a little neatly. Then Sue and Lin taking down the super weapon, that was also really cool seeing. It didn't really last that long, but it was neat to see them work together and overcome their differences when they were so far apart in book 1 and 2. Again, lots of heavy action in this episode, as is to be expected. Lots of fighting scenes, lots of explosions. At one point, we saw the whole skyline behind Korra just explode, and just the overall destruction of the city is just immense, and it's really cool to see and kind of jaw-dropping at some points. And then Korra and Kuvira's exchange in the spirit world at the end, that was also kind of neat, if not a little bit slow. Just where Kuvira explains her motivations for what she does, and they kind of relate to each other a little bit. I thought Kuvira's surrender was a little anticlimactic, and I kind of wish that would have been done a little bit neatly, I guess. Varric and Julie, they get married, that's a thing, which was cool. And then the end, again, no significant people died, so this show, in theory, could continue as it is and just keep doing more and more stories. Korra's fine, she's at her fullest potential, and she's willing to do more after things. One thing that the show did at the very end, which I really, really liked, and it kind of became true based on fan theories, is the Korrasami thing. Based on the ending and what it kind of implies by the ending is that Korra is, at least as far as we are aware, the first bisexual avatar, which is something which I found it really, really neat to see, because that's something which is still kind of not taboo in media, but it's not something which is really done, especially in children's shows. So I really did like that they moved in that direction with this show, and it kind of set up really neatly. And they were kind of hinting at it throughout this whole season, with Korra blushing at times and just the different compliments that they gave each other. You could tell that there was something happening there. And so I kind of like that they delivered on that. And we have Korra and Asami going off to the spirit world, because where else would you go on vacation if you're the Avatar, I guess. But those are my thoughts on the ending. I did enjoy it. It was very action-packed. It was very emotional at times. And I really did enjoy The Legend of Korra. If you would want me to do a series review talking about the whole series, books 1 through 4, I will do that. If somebody wants me to do it, just leave a comment down below, or tweet me at NippyKid, or get a hold of me in some way, shape, or form. I would love to do that, and I just need to know if there's a demand for it. So, let me know down in the comments down below, what did you think of The Legend of Korra Book 4? Did you like it as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. As always, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Once again, if you so choose, I'd appreciate it immensely. And as always, my good people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on watching.